All right, so I've been meaning to start on this project back, I guess, or start up it again or whatever. I want to like add some new components and all of that. I've been thinking about it for a minute now. I guess having quite a lot to do, I kind of just neglected this one. In addition to that, I wouldn't mind getting some suggestions on components because I'm kind of running out. I have one that I was thinking about um not too long ago, so I think I may add that one, so you can stay tuned for that video. But basically in this video what we're gonna do is just update certain things to this package. You can see that the last time I did anything that was the 2 months ago, which is a very long time since I've worked on this project. I want to update this to say yarn install because I think yarn is what I'm using actually. You can see the yarn lock file, so yarn is what I'm using. I don't think this file should even be up here, but yarn is actually what I'm using. So let's go ahead and clone this repository down. So I'm gonna cd into YouTube projects view, and then we're going to do a git clone of this repository, and you can see that the thing is actually giving me the correction. It's kind of a snitch. I've actually recorded this tutorial before earlier, but I made a mistake, so I'm pretty much just starting over. But my terminal is actually snitching on me. It's whatever. So I've done the installation. So we're gonna cd into components, and we're gonna just do an ls. What I'm gonna do first is actually to vim the .git ignore file, and I actually want to add the lock file in here because I don't think the lock file should be um, on GitHub. I think it can be, but I don't want it up there. So we're gonna just do that. Gonna do a git add all and a git commit message. Well, yeah, just commit it, and that's totally incorrect. And we're gonna commit to say that, well, we've added add yarn.lock to git ignore. Can just add that. All right, so now next thing what we want to do pretty much is just to do a yarn install so that we can have our project running, up and running, I should say. Let's do a yarn serve. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and open this in localhost 8080, and then here you can see that we have what the last component that we created, which is the profile card, and that is it. So let me just close this out. Now you can, if you remember, well, you just saw it, the hideous output that is there. And the reason for that is because some of the packages are outdated, and we're gonna touch on how to fix it. Is actually the SAS loader is one of the packages that needs to be updated. That is why we're getting that hideous output from the Vuetify, because that's related to Vuetify. But first things first, before I forget again, we're going to do a vim on the readme.md file. And pretty much what we're going to do here is just to change this to yarn. And I guess I like yarn because I'm a little bit lazy. Because look at this. That's 3 commands, and we just switched it to 2 by just saying yarn. Simple as that, innit? Very simple. And that's pretty much all that we need in this file. And I'm gonna do a little bit of shameless promotion here, and call this Fedorae education Vuetify components. So let's save this, and then we're going to do a git add all, git commit, and say that we update the readme.md file. And next thing that we want to do is just to update the packages in the package.json file. So we want to do a yarn updated, and this will give us the updated files or the updated packages. And you can see that some of them are like basically critical. Well, they have backwards incompatibility updates to them. That's the red ones in red. The ones in yellow has backwards compatibility features, and in green it's just bug fixes. So the ones in red primarily will break your code if you don't know if because of the incompatibility. So you can pretty much just go ahead and do an install or update on the yellow and the green, and that's totally fine. But when it comes on to the red ones, it may break your code. So you have to be careful with what you're doing. So because I know some of these already, what I'm going to do is first I like to go ahead and install the green ones, that's the bug fixes, and the backward compatibility ones first, and then afterwards I go ahead and install the incompatibility ones by just installing them and see if it actually breaks the code. If it doesn't break the code, then we leave it as is, but if it breaks the code, then we just revert back to the previous version. So that is how I like to do it. So let's just go ahead now and do a yarn add, and we're gonna add Vuetify, and we're gonna add Vuetify CLI plugin, and we also, since I already know that these are good for the most part, I guess these are compatible, still compatible. SAS, and yeah, so I think that is still compatible. Plugin, view, and core.js. So we can go ahead and install these. And we have an issue here. What is it? Alright, I think I may have made an error when I was typing one of these. So we have Vuetify CLI plugin, Vuetify. That's what it should be. Alright, so I still have an error. Let me run the yarn update it again so I can see what I'm doing. And then we have SAS. Then we have ESLint plugin view, core.js. Oh, here we go. This is where the error is. There should be view CLI plugin Vuetify. Alright, there we go. First thing I like to do is just to run it to see if our code breaks or anything, or if it's still working. Alright, there we go. So we know that our code, because everything runs perfectly, and when you refresh, no errors, we know that our code isn't breaking, so we can continue to the other updates. So we have what's the 6 different updates. I know for a fact that view should not be updated, and the reason for that is if you go to vuetifyjs.com and go to get started or getting started, you can remember this here. This current version of Fedorae does not support Vue 3, so they're saying it will come later on in Vuetify version 3, which is kind of sad. I don't really like the fact that it's been a very long time and this support hasn't reached us yet. So we kind of stuck with Vue 2. But I know that if I update this, it will break the project because it's not supported. Also, ESLint has an issue. So if I update ESLint, it will also break the project. SAS loader is something I want to update because it will fix the issue that we're having with that hideous output that we're getting, the whole lot of messy looking thing. So that's related to Vuetify, but the SAS loader will fix that. So we're going to be updating all of these, CLI service included and SAS loader, except for ESLint and Vue. So let's go ahead and do a add, and then we're just gonna go ahead and add SAS loader and add Vue CLI service. Or want at Vue slash CLI plugin ESLint, and we also want Vue slash CLI plugin bubble, and those are what we need. All right, here we go. So we can go ahead now and just serve the project again, and then we can see the difference that we'll be getting out of it. So now there is no hideous looking output anymore. It just shows us the percentage of where we're at, and it basically continues and serve the project, and it should not give us any issues. There we go. So our project built successfully. So let's refresh. And that is it. We don't have the issue again. I just made a mistake and brought it up too much. That's why this is looking like that. So let's close this out, and we can check what we have outdated. And obviously it's just the two project packages here, which is ESLint and Vue. So that's fine. One final thing that I want to do is just to edit the package.json file real quick. And I want to just change this right here to components. And so it's vuetify-components instead of vuetify-client that we're seeing here, because that's where it's reading from. So let's serve this again one final time. Made a mistake. Let's fix that. And there we go. So now we have Vuetify components. That's pretty much it. I will be updating this here, so I'll upload this to GitHub so that you guys can have the most updated versions. And pretty much all we did in this video is just updated the project itself, updated the packages, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.